there a banana in your coffee?
Yeah, she garnished it for me. Shut that door, Pop. Thanks, pal.
Oh, look at that. Wow, that's fancy. God, if you're not watching YouTube right now, you're missing out on this.
Perfect. Thanks, bub. Appreciate you. Thanks, kiddo.
This is just a great cold opener. There's nothing wrong with this at all.
Can you hear all that?
Yeah, it's just wholesome.
Well, let's do Miami now.
Bros and shows. I gotta have my bros and shows.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bros and Shows. I'm your co-host, Steele Russell, joined as always by the ever-fabulous McGeets. What's up, dude?
God, I just love going to Miami. There's just nothing better. Little
So
yacht
much better.
action, a lot of things going on, just fun things for the most part. This was a much more fun episode where we don't have to talk about, well, kind of, but we don't really have to get into what the fuck is going on. Why does everybody dislike Gertie? It's more, hey, look at Adriana, which I've done a full 180 on Adriana. I think she's so fucking funny. I think she's hilarious because of the way that everybody else is acting on the cast. When I see her pop up, I don't care how drunk she gets on this yacht. It's hilarious.
I wholeheartedly agree. I think she is a delight to watch. It's like, because I no longer take her that seriously, I think it's starting to, you've said multiple times, especially when we watch like Southern Charm, you have to watch it through a certain lens.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do with Adriana. You have to watch her through a certain lens, and then she becomes very entertaining. And she has been good this season. And it's like, this is the first full bore Adriana that we've gotten. Like, we've gotten hints of her throughout the season.
Yeah.
Like, this was like full throttle, but I think it was almost needed because of what's going on with the show. And I agree with the Gertie thing to a certain extent. I thought the things that she said this episode were possibly the worst, and I'll get into it when we get there.
Yeah.
But as far as like the rest of the cast, Alexia and Marysol, I hate how they handled the whole thing as well. At the end of the day, I feel bad for Gertie. I'm trying to wrap my head around what could possibly be going on, and I think it's more and more obvious that it's what we discussed a couple of weeks ago. And I'll wait to get into all of that. But overall, like, if you remove that part, like, the show's great and this cast is great. Adriana is nailing it. Lisa is delightful this season. Who'd have thought? Stephanie is bringing it as a newbie. She is at the point now where the flaunting of the wealth, I'm in. I like it. I like what she's doing. I like that we're walking around her house and she's getting irritated at Lisa for not paying attention to the house tour. Like,
Yeah.
I'm in. So I think that we've got a great cast here. I think that it's going to be interesting to see how the conflict goes, because I don't know if it's going to be entertaining or if we're just going to have a divide now in the group where it's like, okay, there's too much happening.
I think if I had to guess, and this is a very interesting show because, you know, aside from all the Gertie stuff, we talked about Julia and Adriana, and specifically Julia moving closer and closer to Alexia and Marysol. It's almost like we guessed a plot twist from
Right.
a real scripted show. And today's episode that we're covering right now kind of confirms that. And Julia says it in so many ways. She goes to her confessional talking about how Adriana feels some type of way because I'm getting closer with Alexia and Marysol. It's like, yeah, we called it. We called it in episode 1. We figured that was going to happen. So that was kind of gratifying. It's like, oh, wow, that's awesome. So happy that we read into that. Not that it was, you know, super difficult to read into.
No.
But at the same time, it's just nice to get that confirmation. But also what it shows is that Julia does understand what's going on. She's able to call that out. But yet when she sits down with Gertie in all of these scenes that we've seen this season, she's so delusional. She's so easy to just like dismiss whatever Gertie's going through and just choose herself over everybody else because of what she's doing with Alexia and Marysol. So I do think that we're on a good track, if you will, for this season, because I do think that the Alexia Stephanie stuff is going to be funny because of the way that Alexia is responding to all of these things. I think we've got a pretty good Larsa right now. She's not like completely off her rocker at this point. And I think that everybody else is kind of bringing it. We're getting more Kiki. We're getting more Adriana's getting involved, and she's not being annoying because I think it's really just, I agree with what she's saying. And I like what she's doing because it's just like, it's not that deep and it's just her being fucking drunk and funny. So I'm here for it. I think it's still going to be a really good season. And Obviously the Gertie stuff aside, I think the rest of it can be very, very entertaining.
I agree. And I think that's like also why Adriana's playing, is because the Gertie stuff I really don't like. It's
Yeah.
getting gross, but you
But we
have
see
the
her kind of, she's gravitating towards Gertie. She's being a good
right.
Gertie friend, and it's giving her an excuse to be full Adriana to the other women in the group because she's doing it on behalf of Gertie. But in reality, she's just doing it for herself. But I'm still here for it.
She's doing it because of Alexia and Marysol. That's the
Yeah,
driving force of her whole life, is sticking it to those two because she still wants to be friends with them and they don't want to be friends with her. That drives Adriana. Literally.
yep.
That's like her whole being, is those two. But let's jump into this episode. We start out with Martina and Julia Boo talking about their boys. But the main topic of conversation here is Gertie once again. And she discusses Adriana after the event the other night, where she was like, well, just go to Gertie and talk to her and, listen to her side. There's two sides. Adriana was very reasonable, I thought.
I
Like,
thought so.
that's the funny part, but that's when it's funnier, because you look at Adriana, it's like, she is being a good friend, yes, but there's selfish intention here when it comes to
There
the
is.
Julia
There,
stuff.
there 1,000% is. She only wants Julia to go back inside because she feels a type of way towards Julia. She feels
Mhm.
like she's been distant. She's been moving away from her. She's been neglecting their friendship. Here's an opportunity. Like, I'm not fully saying that Gertie was right, but I'm also not fully defending you and going to go home with you. I want you guys to sit down and talk together, because maybe some of that will come out and I'll be able to point to a couple of things that you've been doing to me as well. I
Yep.
think that's what Adriana wants. And I love that. She's coming from a neutral position, but we both know she's not being neutral in this situation.
100%. And there was a moment that we didn't see last week, and I guess nothing really happened with it.
Yeah.
Except one thing that Julia says that again, like, perked my ears up. I'm like, whoa, because she walked back inside and asked Gertie, like, hey, what was the point of that? Gertie's trying to talk and she says you and points at her. She didn't stick her hand in her face and like poke her in
No.
the nose. She was saying you and gesturing with this. The pointing of somebody is you. That's how you
Yep.
say you. And she points at her and she says, get your fingers away from my face, just like you usually do. I'm like, Gertie doesn't get in people's face.
No.
Gertie doesn't get in people's face. And this is starting to paint a picture, a very specific picture that I don't care for, that I'm sure a lot of the audience doesn't care for. And it gets hammered home later. I'll just bring it up now when they're on the boat and she's talking to Adriana. She's like, well, Gertie's coming later. And you know how she is. She's probably going to throw things at me. I'm like, you threw water at her in between.
Yep.
Claiming that she gets in people's faces, claiming that she is aggressive and throwing things. You're trying to paint her as an angry black woman. And I think that's fucking gross. And I think it's become so clear now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's another way to look at this situation where we're not calling that out and saying this is bad. And it looks terrible, especially amidst all of this shit with her and Martina. It's like, can you both be like a little less problematic for like a
Yeah.
week, possibly? Like, between those two comments, because again, when have we seen Gertie get in someone's face? Never. When have
No,
we seen her throw
they
anything?
all get in each other's face. Like, I hate that she's the one who's being pinholed right now
Yeah.
because of how they feel towards her. And like you said, yeah, they're painting her as an angry black woman. She's not doing anything differently than anybody else is. She's
Nope.
actually doing less than what we've seen, say, Lisa do last year when she was going through all of that shit, than what Alexia does season in, season out, than when Larsa does season in, season out. So why is she the one that's being held to a different standard? It's gross. It's sickening to even really watch. And I do hope that Julia gets her comeuppance. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is it's going to start spilling over to the rest of the cast, because if people don't speak up, and I get, yeah, maybe you're not friends with Gertie, but if you feel any sort of neutral type of way about Gertie or about the situation, you can still see it. You can still step in and be like, all right, enough. Like, is it any different? All I really need as a viewer of this show, when you're not doing anything actively that's agreeing with Julia, if you're somewhere in the middle, I need one of the cast members to just step in and be like, she's not doing anything different than anybody else is. That simple sentence would go so far with all of us that are watching this, because all of us are like, what the fuck? Like, somebody help her.
Yeah.
And the only semblance of help that we see, obviously, it's Adriana, who's got some selfish intentions, but we see Nicole in this episode, who helps a lot.
Thank God.
Jesus Christ, her presence is so calming. She's great. She's gonna come back. The end of that scene was great. She's
I know.
1,000% gonna come back, but I understand why she's not there this season. But either way, it's going to get to a point where we start pointing the finger, and I'm using that very specifically, at everybody else in the cast, saying, you have to say something. There has to be a point where you go, yeah, let's look around real quick. Oh, yeah, there's 2 black women in this cast. One of them's being painted as an angry black woman. That's not a good look for all of us. It's not a good look for any of us by not saying anything. So somebody's going to have to fucking step up. I don't care who it is, but somebody has to step up and maybe get a couple more people in line to at least agree with it, or at least say, oh yeah, this is a shitty situation. That's what we need. Otherwise, like I said, it's going to spill over to the rest of the cast and we're just going to feel a little differently about them.
Exactly. And, the conversation they have on the boat later on doesn't help in the slightest, but let's keep trucking because you get Stephanie and Larsa, and Stephanie's showing her new house to Larsa. I said Lisa earlier, I meant Larsa. It's this just gargantuan compound that was a this is
so funny.
I think hilarious. I fell in love with Stephanie in this scene. I'm like, this is what we need. Like, this is the level of wealth and pettiness that we need on this show, because it's this massive house that Masood and his ex-wife had built together. Masood wanted to move back into it, and Stephanie was like, okay, fine, but I don't want any semblance of your ex there. We're going to gut the whole fucking place. We're going to move the pool. We're going to do literally everything. And her excuse to Larsa is, I don't want him to turn any corner and be reminded of his ex-wife. I'm like, you don't want to turn any corner and be reminded of his ex-wife. So they're doing a total flip on this massive home. And watching her show Larsa around it was hysterical, because Larsa's trying to do what housewives do. As you walk around or as you're doing other things, you talk about drama. You talk about the group. Stephanie doesn't want to do that. Stephanie's trying to show her that house. And Larsa's like, so what do you think? He's like, and this is the closet. Larsa, here's the closet. It
is just kind of funny because we do get back-to-back weeks of this, because we did do a tour of Larsa's new house, and Stephanie was engaged the whole time. She had so many different ideas about what Larsa could do. Get rid of this fucking glass. You're going to have fingerprints all over the place. This closet is a nightmare. How are you going to clean the makeup off of this? That was the closet store. Why did I think they were? Oh,
no. She's getting, I know. I agree. I've never wanted
like
a big
container
closet.
Store. You ever been to that place?
That place rocks.
The
container store fucking
so
rocks.
Expensive.
I never knew how many containers I needed until I went to the container store.
Good. That's one of those places that, like, I would have loved. It's specifically for going to college. Like, you just see all of these damn containers. Like, yeah, I need all of this stuff. Give me them all.
Yeah.
Put myself in a container. Place. I wonder if they sell coffins in the back. That's the ultimate container. You know what I mean? No?
That is the container you're going to use the longest. Technically speaking.
Theoretically.
On,
your definition of a soul and stuff. But anyway.
Let's get into the afterlife. Hell yeah.
Oh, God. But no, I do love it just because we get those two scenes where Stephanie is so engaged in helping Larsa with her house. And she just wants something of the same when she's going through this house, which you and I agree is a great story. It's a hilarious story. It's such a great housewife story who's got a ton of money, does not care. Yeah, she's spending so much more on gutting the whole house than she would on buying the house to begin with, which is hilarious. And it's just awesome. It's just the type of camp bullshit behavior that we love to find in a housewife show. And that's what Stephanie's bringing. So you can't help but like her. I know that, people are still a little unsure about her, but right now, I mean, we like her.
Yeah, that sold me 100%, because that's the kind of thing I needed from her, to be like, if you're going to be the wealthy person, lean in 100%. And she's doing that. And I think
go to Canada for date night and come back on a jet.
Yes.
Like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. All of that shit. And I think that the other part that I will give her credit for is how she's involved with the group, because the Gertie party comes up with all the texts and everything. Her issue isn't really with Gertie. She's like, yeah, it was weird. It was uncomfortable. What's Alexia's fucking problem? I'm like, hell yeah. Like, point the finger elsewhere, because they obviously got into it at the end. And she's like, does she talk to everybody like that? And it's like, yeah, pretty much. So get used to it and get ready to defend yourself, which she's more than capable of doing. But someone should have told her. And I hopefully she figures it out. She's like, I've yet to have a good experience in one of these things. It's like, oh, you never will.
You never will. Yeah. You're going to have to do a lot, actually. You're just going to have to completely lower your expectations and just try to have fun, especially if that wasn't even really something that she was involved in. You could be on the receiving end of something like that. You could be in Julia's shoes, getting your text messages put on blast at one of these parties any day now. You just got to make sure that you enjoy the days that you're not in that position. But yeah, with the Alexia thing, I think it's very funny, and obviously it's setting up for probably a season-long drama, season-long beef. It's going to get to that point for sure, and it seems like we're going down the road of Alexia thinks that she's the queen, and I love that Alexia is calling herself that. She's so funny,
Dude, she's so contradictory.
She contradicts herself all the time. And obviously, later we get that scene about the Rottweiler, but in this queen bee stuff, she sets herself up as the queen, but also says, you pegged me as the queen, so you're coming after me. It's like, but you just said you were the queen. No, I didn't. What are you talking about? Like, that's what we always set up with Alexia. And I just love it because we haven't really seen her have to fend for herself. She always seems to kind of skirt around, skate around. Marysol's always with her. Larsa, depending on her situation, she might be with her. So it'll be nice to see. I think it's going to be a fun little setup, and I like where we're going with it.
No, I totally agree. And I think that Stephanie's the perfect person to go up against her. It's like, and they referenced it a few times, you have two alphas. Yeah. Two alphas just button heads, and I don't think Stephanie's going to give. I also don't think she's
trying to be nice. I think she's trying to goof around to be funny in some situations, and Alexia's just not having it because she already has this, for whatever reason, I don't even know why, some predetermined disposition towards her, where she's like, yeah, maybe it's because she's jealous.
I know what it is. It's exactly what her and Marysol are both jealous of Stephanie.
She did say, yeah. There was a line later where she's like, just go on with your perfect life with your perfect husband up to Canada and have a perfect date night. And it's like, whoa, that's a lot of perfects.
That seems very specific. Very specific. I wrote that down.
I wish you could do that with Todd, but Todd's got money problems.
Yeah, Todd rents everything, and you outed him.
Rent a PJ like that.
Nope, absolutely not. Use the Wheels Up app or whatever. They can sponsor us. You think we get a free flight if Wheels Up sponsors us?
Where would we go? Where do you want to
go? Man. I don't know. Somewhere not. We'd probably be like limited. We'd probably have to go from here to Reading.
It's a 2-minute flight.
Yeah, you can use it, but you're going to fucking Doylestown.
How many pictures and videos do you think we can take of it? Like sponsored or not? Just like, look at us.
We would take my whole phone would be full of us just posing in front of the PJ and on it, and we would use those pictures forever. Anytime we travel in the future, we'll just bring outfit changes on the plane and be like, oh, the bros are headed on tour, and just use an old picture from the PJ. That's
reality. We rented a fucking car because we don't want to put the mileage on our own.
We rented a van just to drive. But anyway,
do not threaten me with a good time.
They just take turns laying down in the back. The other person drives. Hell yeah, brother. But during this whole thing, we get word of a yacht party that is claimed to have been planned for so long. Looking at the setup for it, I don't think it was planned for it because Kiki was like, well, let me just make a call real quick. And she's like, hey, ex-boyfriend or whatever, Simon.
Yeah, it's just the dude that she used to hook up with that still gives her free yachts.
Because he owns the yacht club in Miami. So he's like, hey, I got a nine-person yacht for you, no problem. But originally there was one big yacht and everybody was going to stay on it. Due to some of the splits in the group at the moment, we're doing 2 boats.
I think it's bullshit.
I did until I watched. Originally I'm like, come on, you got to get everybody together. Watching Adriana yell from one boat to the other was great. So
it was really great comedy. No, when I say bullshit, I think they didn't have one big yacht ready. They're just kind of spinning it like this. They're like, oh, we have to do it this way. It's like, okay, yeah, sure. It works out fine. And it's really funny.
I feel like Kiki, with that phone call she made, I'm like, I think she could take any boat she wants. This guy seems to be in love with. He's like, yeah, no problem. Absolutely no problem. It'll be there waiting tomorrow morning. She ordered a yacht overnight.
How many of them are there? There's like fucking 15 people. It's crazy.
No,
this show's insane.
4 and 5, I thought. I think there's 9.
Yeah, I guess that kind of checks out.
I believe. I could be wrong. I should have wrote it down.
So many people.
But we have that to look forward to later. And we do a quick check-in with Alexia, Peter, and Frankie. Alexia is a mom. I always enjoy these scenes. Obviously,
she's a great mom.
Yeah, and the family's been through a whole hell of a lot, and they're now living on some island outside of the city, renting month to month, trying to figure out. And it's nice to hear her say things like this. Just a little self-awareness where she's like, I don't know where the fuck my life's going. Like, I don't know where I'm headed. So for now, we're renting. We're staying here. Peter lives on his own. He comes back and forth. We get more of the Frankie story. Frankie looks great, by the way.
He does.
He looks like he's toned up. Like, he looks strong. He looked good.
Yeah. Well, he does. And they kind of touch on it in this situation.
The stomach thing.
Yeah.
Diverticulitis. I hope that's not why.
I don't think it is, but it isn't. So what I kind of took from this scene is more his diet has changed. So I think he probably went from, there's probably fatty foods and like different shit that he probably can't have anymore. So he's changed his diet. I think it's obviously it's going to be for the better, and in the long run it's going to be great. But he does look great. And
Yeah.
look, he's always had such good fashion living down in Miami as a kid like
Yeah,
that,
dude, he's
where
swaggy.
Alexia wants him to look good. And I'm sure a lot of it's his own doing too. He just looks good. He's a great looking dude.
Yep, love that. And I know Peter's had his whole thing, but watching him and the relationship he has with Frankie, like it's just this family, for whatever reason, I like watching their scenes together. It's almost like a
Yeah.
separate show entirely. It has nothing to do with the housewives, but it's like their own little thing. But it's
I
just
would
interesting to me.
Yeah, Peter, I don't, there's been news about him, so I don't know if he's a great dude by any means,
I
but
didn't say that.
I'm
I said
sure.
he's
Yeah,
had his
no, I know
thing.
that. Yeah. Well, I was kind of prefacing it for my next comment. I want to hear what he has to say about Todd because I know
I
that
do
dude's
too.
got some fucking bad feelings about Todd, and I just want him to be open about it. I know, it's asking a lot, but I'm not saying I want like Frankie or say Alexia had like a 12-year-old son to hear what he has to say. Like, leave the kids out of it. But Peter's what, 20 or 30?
32.
They said this. Yeah, he was 32. I want to hear what he has to say because I know that him and Todd didn't get along. We've seen those scenes where Todd interjects. He's not your fucking dad. Like, back off, dude. So I know that he's got some feelings about it. He's probably just not talking about it. But it would be helpful. And I do think, Alexia probably needs to hear it from people close to her. Like, fuck this dude. Get away from him.
Yeah, it might stick a little bit more because she seems to care about her son so much, or she does
I mean,
care about her son
Marysol
so
can't get
much.
through. So,
Yeah, that's when you know. That's when you know. But we get a walk up scene, cameras behind, and you recognize the hair anywhere. And I'm like, hell yeah, the Birkin. I'm like, Dr. Nicole's back.
yep.
Thank the fucking Lord. And it's never been more apparent, like you said early on, how much we desperately need her back on this
Hmm.
show. One, because she's a delightful character. We've always enjoyed her. She brings wealth and class. And two, Gertie needs her. And we need
Yeah,
her for
desperately.
Gertie.
Yep.
Because the way that she goes through this scene, like at the end when she's talking about it, she's like, look, do I agree with what you did? Not really. But that's what good friends do. Like say, hey, that might have been overboard, but I'm still your
Yeah.
friend, and walk them through why that could have been handled differently. Or
Hmm.
there can be disagreements, but you still support Gertie and recognize what she's going through. So it was never more obvious. I'm like, fuck, we need her back. We end it with a TBD, which is great,
Yeah.
but I'm assuming she's going to make a return, maybe friend of this
Yeah, I
season,
think
full time next.
she touched on it a little bit where, it seems like she was suffering from postpartum after she had her
Mhm.
baby.
Yeah,
So
she was open about that.
yeah, she was very open about that. And I think she kind of, I don't want to say she saw it coming or saw the writing on the wall, but I think she was more like, I'm making a big transition in life. I'm having a baby.
Yeah.
Anthony and I are moving. We saw them like finding a house down there. I'm sure they bought a fucking yacht too. Like they're getting completely settled. And I think that's what she wants. And again, that's who she is. That's who she's always been on this show, is just incredibly logical and just in touch with everything going on. Where why wouldn't she be in touch with her own life? Like, hey, yeah, my life's gonna be frantic. Do I really want to throw being on this show and being around all these women constantly for like 6 months of filming? Probably not. Let me just try to work through
And
the
I
things that
get
I'm
it.
working through, get back to even footing, and then just jump back in because I'm sure she's just got an open door whenever she wants to come back, especially with this group because they want her back. Even the people that probably don't like her probably want her back because we watched her butt heads. Jesus,
Headbutt.
we watched her headbutt. We watched her butt heads with Alexia and Marysol back in the day, and it just makes for good TV. It really does. So I was happy to see that, and I also love when she's going through all the stuff that Gertie's been doing, and obviously dealing with Julia. She doesn't really put Julia down, but she also doesn't say you shouldn't have done the text messages. She says you shouldn't have said what you said to her about what was going on when you right before she
The
threw the water at her
facelift
face.
comment.
Yeah, the facelift comment was a little bit too far, and that's what friends are for. I'm going to tell you that you did that wrong, but she didn't say anything about the text messages, which means she agrees with the text messages, which is great.
Yeah, and we just needed that support. Like it's not crazy. It's just like, yeah, I'm your friend. I got your
Yeah.
back. Like, oh, thank God. And we get some info that she actually dated, or sorry, Stephanie dated Anthony back in the day,
Hmm.
20 years ago. And Stephanie had a lot of nice things to say about Dr. Nicole. They FaceTime to meet for the first time, like
Yeah.
briefly. That would be a fun duo. have those two together. I like that's not even shady comments, just the jab. She's like, my private jet is big. Grr.
Yeah.
I want that. I want that stuff. And I want
Yeah.
like, that's what we loved about Dr. Nicole on top of everything else was we're going yacht shopping today. We're going to check out.
Yeah.
We already have a $10 million house, but we want a $20 million house on the other side of the bay. We're going to keep both, but we're going to stay in this one and bop back and forth. Like, we're missing that. And I know Stephanie's bringing it, so I appreciate that part of it. But the difference with a Dr. Nicole, the fact that she's so well-rounded, logical, and grounded, and also rich as shit,
Yeah.
is such a unique person to have on a show that I know we're just sitting here glazing Dr. Nicole, but like there's no other way to go about it. Like she's such a crucial part of the show. I didn't realize how much I missed her on it until this scene. And I was like, damn it, man, like she needs to come back ASAP.
Yeah, and I do think that the duo between her and Stephanie, and obviously it's only a few episodes into Stephanie's tenure on the show, I think it would be great. I think
Right,
we'll
yeah.
have so many different times where they get along, they seem similar. There's a lot of the same things that they have, and then there's also going to be times where they butt heads and they're just going to go after each other, and that's going to be really fun because I feel like they can do that, come back together, go right back to it, and go back and forth. And I think that that's a really good dynamic duo that this show not desperately needs, but could use some
definitely
of.
use it. Could
Yeah.
definitely use that. And the interesting thing they do address is with Julia. It's like we have seen a big shift in Julia.
Yeah.
And they both say exactly what we've been saying. And again, it's not like it's been that hard to decipher,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's like she
rocket
found the cool
science.
kids. She found her way and she got into the group, made friends with whoever she could. Now she's been around. She's starting to get quote unquote popular. And she's going over to hang out with Alexia and Marysol, the cool kids. And it's like, yeah, that's what
All
we've
of
all
us.
been seeing. And it's pretty clear, but it's nice to have somebody that's not Gertie or Adriana call that out. Like to have a third party say it that's not even involved this season. It's like, thank you. Thank you. This was such
Appreciate.
like a breath of fresh air for a scene and needed before we get to the yacht day.
Yeah.
And we go to yacht day. Lisa's friend Ebony, who knows a couple of the other ladies in the group, she's joining for the yacht day. We don't get a whole lot from her on the boat, but I'm
No, not yet.
assuming she's gonna have a friend of role this season. That's how they set it up, at least. As we discussed, Stephanie is just there for the day because Masood left a note, said, hey, we're going to head up to Canada for the night to our house in Canada because they love it up there, like to go to
Who
Canada.
asked her immediately he still does that? Was it Alexia? Because I'm piecing together a
Oh,
puzzle
I didn't
over
hear
here.
that.
Oh, you didn't hear that? Okay, so
No, I
somebody
was
says,
writing.
oh, he still does that? Like in a surprise, not in a judgy way, in a surprised, like, oh, that's kind of nice. I wish my husband did that for me.
What puzzle are you puzzling right now?
I'm puzzling something together, brother. You know me.
I know. That's why I said what.
I'll let you know when the puzzle's finished. You know how you start a puzzle and you're like, I'm not really sure. These pieces are fitting together, but I'm not really sure what the big image looks like. Yeah.
No, when I look at the box.
No, there's better ones that don't have the picture. You kind of figure it out.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the
Don't
box?
know.
Anyway,
It's actually just a puzzle of Gwyneth Paltrow's head. That would actually be the best thing ever.
That'd be kind of funny.
Jesus,
that's a
what
funny
am I creating here? Oh God,
7 puzzles. There's something there, and you don't even show the picture; it just says what's in the box, and it's Gwyneth Paltrow's noggin.
It comes with a candle that you're supposed to light while you're doing the puzzle, and you're like, "What does that smell?"
God damn it! And we got there. Anyways, we get on our respective boats. They are like across the marina from each other, and on Kiki's boat, this was a dumb move, but I'm so very glad that Kiki did it. Because we're on the boat and she's discussing the split. And she's like, yeah, Marysol said that she didn't want to be on a boat with you, Adriana. And I was like, oh, we're just going to tell her.
Yeah.
I think she's regretting it
Not
after
the best
she tells
move.
her. No, terrible move. You just ruined the whole day.
But like, I love this is Kiki getting involved, and we've seen her for 3 seasons now. We're like, we want more. We want more. Maybe she's trying to give us a little bit more, and then you can tell right away it's just not in her nature. She's like,
She's like,
I don't know why
shit.
the fuck did I do that?
I'm glad. I'm so glad
Such a
she
bad
did.
call.
Yeah, that was the worst idea ever. What am I doing? So Adriana immediately starts just going in on Marysol. We flash over to the other boat, and you get Julia just bending the knee. She's like, I totally understand why Marysol wanted it. It's like, stop. Like, it's too much. It's just gross at this point. Like, grovel harder, dude.
Yeah.
But Adriana, we're back at the other boat, and it's just constant. It's constant. The only thing that could possibly derail this conversation is dolphin rape. Thanks,
Uh-huh.
Lisa. Yeah, we've all heard those rumors of dolphins getting a little too
What we
friendly
need.
in the water. Sure, just to kind of derail us ever so slightly before we tie the boats up. It was a good little
Yeah.
comedic relief.
That's really all we needed because you can tell Adriana keeps making frequent trips back to get more champagne. I love her the next morning. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know. I just
I
had a whole
love that.
bottle of champagne." It's like,
I
I
had
think you
one.
had more.
I had one
Bottle.
bottle of champagne. And she's not really
Yeah.
regretful. She's just more like, oops.
She was so funny the next morning. I love that. She's
I
like,
did too.
"Oh, shouldn't have done that. I don't know. Whatever. How's the
Yeah.
morning going?"
Who's got champagne? But while we're tied up, we got both boats together, and Alexia and Stephanie immediately clash a little bit. And Alexia's like, I don't like that you said that I barked. And this is why I like Stephanie. She doesn't back down. She's like, you do bark. You do bark. And she's like, no,
Mhm.
you bark. And then she says, and it's very important, you're a Chihuahua. I'm a Rottweiler. And then my favorite thing happened. And these moments are few and far between, but these kinds of trivial arguments are my absolute favorite because it's just pride and ego getting in the way. And if you
Yep.
listen to yourself, you'd be like, guys, like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a Rottweiler, or I'm a wolf. It's like, oh well, if you're a wolf, I'm a lion. It's like, yeah, and I'm a fucking eagle. Yeah, and they're dead
It's
serious.
like no one's ever gonna win this. It's just too funny. And I do hope that one of them, and it's gonna be Stephanie, realizes that this is all you have to do to just rile her up. Just
Yep.
like make it funny though, and just bring her down that path on your own. Just keep adding to it just to see how far Alexia is willing to go, and have like just a slight
A
smirk on your face
smirk.
while you do it. That's all we need, just to know that you're in this with us. You're in this to give us a little bit more entertainment from Alexia from that point.
Yep. And like just the smirk, like you said,
That's all you need.
will set her off
Oh,
over and
yeah.
over again. Like she
Oh, you
won't be
think you're
able to
being
handle it.
funny?
Like, oh, this is funny to you? It's like, it's funny to
Yeah,
us at home. We're enjoying it. So,
it's
yeah,
really funny
continue.
to us.
Please continue. But again, Adriana's she's going in on Marysol. Unfortunately, proving Marysol's point. This is why she didn't want to get on the boat because you get
Mhm.
stuck on it. And we've watched this happen for 3 years now. Like, you get stuck on the Marysol thing. It's nonstop. It does get irritating. Not in this time, but she did prove Marysol right, unfortunately, there. But don't worry. Julia is going to clarify Adriana's not a fun drunk, but you know who is? Marysol. It's like, here we go again. Like, just start keeping track of how many times you're sitting there
Her nose
complimenting your new friends.
is so far up their asses. It's awful to watch. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It'll turn at some point because it's almost just so embarrassing that you can just make fun of Julia because we've lost all the redeeming qualities of
They're
Julia.
gone
She
out
used
the
to just be
window.
quirky and out there. And if we had to watch her, much like we watched Marisol or much like we watched Adriana in the first couple of seasons, trying to be friends with them, it gets sad. It gets to a point where it's like, all right, can you guys just like invite her over for dinner? Like maybe it'll be okay. Instead, it's like, no, actually, I kind of want Alexia and Marisol to turn on Julia at some point and leave her out in the wilderness by herself. Leave her
Well,
out there. Then all of a sudden, she has to turn to a Gertie. She has to turn to an Adriana to try to just beg for their attention, beg for their friendship again. Because at this point, that's kind of what she deserves. We don't want to watch that too
yeah.
much. So I'm okay with it because if it goes down that road, I'm good with it. That's really all I want to see. And I like you said, I, I like Adriana this season, but I also understand Marisol's point because
Yeah, I do
you
too.
can
I get
tell
it.
there's her and Alexia are just so over it. And it's like, yeah, I really don't want to be on the same boat as her, but here's why. And they're not really letting it get to them. They're laughing a lot of the shit off, especially while she's on the other boat. It's a different story when she comes over with the squirt gun. But while she's on the other boat, it's like, fuck, like she's still going. This is real. Okay,
Yeah, with
we really have to
your
deal with this. Like now
bony
everybody
knees and
understands
your
what we're doing. Yeah, she is annoying. I understand that, but she's funny this year.
yeah, I agree. And again, Adriana points out, and not in a confessional, screaming over the rail of the one boat, that Julia, she left her best friend to join the cool kids by the cool girls, but they're not cool girls. They're mean cougars. Keep it up with their wrinkled knees and their bony ass. They give her more.
It's just funny. Yeah.
Give her more. But this is when you get Julia and Adriana sit down, like up on the captain's seat, and they're talking. This was by far the most frustrating scene for me thus far.
Yeah.
Like, this really pissed me off because Julia questions Adriana at the Gertie's event. You decided to stay behind. You didn't leave with me. And she's like, yeah, I felt the need to mediate. She's like, well, why would you do that? You're my friend, blah, blah, blah. Okay, why do you talk to Alexia and Marysol after they talked all that shit
Mhm.
on me? I'm like, boom, great point.
Yep.
Her response was so fucking annoying. I needed to understand their perspective. Exactly, Julia. Exactly what Adriana just said to you. But for some reason, this is different. For some reason, it's not the same thing. And you don't owe Gertie or Adriana that same grace that you're asking from them. That doesn't make any sense. She's
Yeah.
so fucking hypocritical. It's hard to watch. I'm like, how do you not see? And we're gonna get more from Alexia and Marysol on the same topic. It seems so obvious. It's like, did you hear what you just said? To get their perspective. What do you think Adriana was doing? Yeah, it was selfishly intended, but that's irrelevant. It's the same fucking thing. She's trying to gain perspective and be in the middle,
Mhm.
just like you were. But because you're with the cool kids now and you hold them to a different regard, now it's different. It's different with them.
It's so frustrating too because that it doesn't make any fucking sense. That's not what you're doing. You're not
No.
getting their perspective. You're pining for their friendship. You're
Yep.
like a little lapdog just jumping up and down, like, oh, can you guys be my friends? Can you guys be my friends? I don't really care about these people anymore. I want to be friends with you guys. We're all watching that. Don't try to dumb it down and act like you're just trying to get their perspective. You're sucking their dicks. That's what
Yeah.
you're doing. You're over there trying your hardest to be their friend. And instead you're like, no, I needed their perspective on what? Life? Like what the fuck are you talking about? I don't
I don't
understand.
know.
It's not like there was a huge divide. Again, we still are referring to the off season because that's when it seems like this whole thing started, where she actually got some sort of an in with Alexia and Marysol, but we don't really know what actually broke that, what actually got into that. So I don't really know. We're left kind of guessing, but it doesn't seem like there was some great divide or somebody in the group did something that caused Julia to say, well, the group is divided. Let me go over here and talk to Alexia and Marysol. It's not like Alexia blew up on Gertie. We would have heard about that. And you're trying to be the mediator and you're trying to go back and forth. And now, for whatever reason, you agree with Alexia. Like, none of these things happened. There's no perspective to gain. I like Alexia and Marysol most of the time, but they're assholes. That's really
Yeah.
what they are. And you want to be part of the cool kids. That's all it is. There's no real response or reasoning that Julia could come up with now where I'd be like, yeah, I can respect that. At least
That
you're
makes
telling the truth.
sense.
Yeah, it'll make sense, but like I'm not going to respect it at this point.
Oh
There's
no,
not
I'm
gonna
saying
be
there's nothing she
something.
can say that'll like click for me and I'll be
Oh
like, oh,
yeah,
that makes sense. Like it
yeah.
wouldn't.
There's literally nothing that you could actually say at this point that I'd be like, oh, okay, that's why you did it. That makes sense. I guess I can respect your wishes. Like, no, we know what you're doing, and at no point am I going to just respect you for telling the truth, even if you cop to exactly what it is. I'll be like, yeah, duh, dumbass.
100%. I 100% agree. But Adriana makes so much. This is the most sense she's ever made. She goes to a confessional and she's like, Julia started this whole thing with the water toss.
Mhm.
The texts were a response. And if you're looking at it, throwing water in someone's face is way worse than the text message, especially considering what was contained in the text. It was vindication.
No one read it.
Nobody
Like,
read it, but they weren't like condemning text. Like, yes, it's a breach
no.
of privacy, and I understand that part of it, but you could throw water in as like that's assault. You're starting a physical
No,
confrontation. And if she chooses to clap back, I know it's not like
I
I'm
don't
not
think that's
saying that.
but yeah,
That's not what I'm explaining is by doing that,
yeah,
you're inviting physical confrontation because you're
sure,
making
yeah, okay.
contact in some way, shape, or form. Luckily, Gertie can keep a cool head about her and doesn't do that. But I can't say for sure if a dude threw water in my face that I wouldn't try to, wrestle him.
At least throw a drink in my face so I can just like kind of like. I saw a video the other day. This guy was in the backyard and people were throwing beers at him, like just splashing him in the face, and then he had to say what the beer was. I'm like, I'd be so good.
Oh,
at that.
that's fun. We could do that. I'll throw beer in your face.
Yeah. But the problem was he had a pool, so like right afterwards he could just kind of jump in the pool because he had it all over him.
I've got a kiddie pool. We can fill that up. You can just take a dunk.
Yeah. Or your cold plunge.
I do have my cold plunge
Just
bucket.
spray me with a hose. What I got a pond, I got a pool. Pond would be good for
Pool,
you.
pond would be good for you. Well done. Nice drop in right there. But the best thing that Adriana says is, God forbid you hold Julia accountable, or God forbid you call her out. And this is when you get the line from Julia, Gertie's coming. You know how she is. She's probably going to throw things at me. And that's when that was the last
Yeah,
straw. I'm like,
bullshit.
in what world, bro, In what world is that what Gertie does? She's never done that. You did that. You threw something at her. She didn't throw anything at you. To try to flip this now is gross. And
Figuratively, maybe, if you want to even go down there.
maybe, but that doesn't even make sense either. Like she's saying
No,
that
it
she's gonna
doesn't.
throw things at me. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like that's your MO now, not
She's
hers.
gonna
So
throw
shut the
mean
fuck
looks
up.
at me.
Yeah, it was just
She's
it
gonna
was a
hurl insults.
like I said, between that and claiming that she points and gets in people's face with her hands, I was like, okay, what are we doing? Like, what is this image you're trying to paint? Because it's
Yeah, you're
not who
making it
Gertie
so
is.
much worse. Like it's already bad enough. It seems like every episode she says something else. It's like, dude, like we already know what you're doing and we're already condemning you for it. Why are you making it
You're
so
just
much
digging
worse?
the hole deeper,
How do
bro.
people
It's
not have this is something that I just never generally understand. How do people not have like the inner feeling of, ooh, fuck.
yeah,
Am
that's
I being
bad.
racist?
Am I
Like
being like
what?
blatantly racist right now? Maybe I should
Yeah,
shut the
I don't
fuck
get
up.
that.
Like,
I never understand that. I'm like, yeah, I mean, if that's the person that you are, you're a piece of shit and you just want to be racist. Fine, I get that, I guess, in some way.
I don't get
But
that, but
I mean, I don't get it. No, I meant like at least like
I
that
know
you're
what you
a
mean.
fucking piece of shit racist. But if you're gonna do this, how do you not think like, yeah, I mean, she's my friend. I would treat any of my friends like this. Like, you're not treating any of your friends like this. You're only
Nope,
treating Gertie like this.
just
Like, and
one
you're making
person.
it so much worse.
Yeah, every single episode, there's more to add to it. And it's like,
Yeah.
wow, Julia, like this is good luck coming back from this one. But we get to dinner, which makes everything worse. And it's like a Haitian feast, which Haitian food fucking slaps. It's so
Mhm.
goddamn
Yeah.
good. I was so jealous. But Lisa, I'm glad she did this. She's had a solid season so far, but she's like, let's do an exercise. We're going to go around the table and say nice things say some positive things about each other. Marysol and Adriana, you start. This was so fucking funny because Marysol obviously feels a type of way about Adriana. Adriana
Mhm.
acts like she hates them. She really just wants to be friends with them. So Adriana doesn't even hesitate. Well, this, and she says like a bunch of nice things about Marysol. She's very sweet. And it's like, all right, Marysol, she's like, give me a sec. Would you just give me a sec? I'm trying. It's cool that you play the piano. Adriana's like, that was so nice. It's like, I guess.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
whatever. It's definitely the nicest thing that Marisol's ever said about Adriana. So
sure.
it's fine.
But it was just watching her like rack her brain and trying
Yeah.
genuinely to say something nice. And you get the montage of all the mean things Adriana said about her. And she's like, you play the piano? Bless my
Wow.
heart.
Me?
You know that. You know that I play the piano. You just made me
It
feel
was
so
for
happy.
whatever reason, it was a huge plot point last year because you were playing the piano and singing for Julia's, what
Oh,
was it,
yeah.
anniversary?
It was her and Martina's anniversary. She sang the
Yeah.
opera song. Yeah. Dude, it cracked me up. But obviously, this is all a setup to get to Gertie and Julia. Gertie goes again, doesn't hesitate, calls Julia compassionate, all these things, nice things. And then Julia's supposed to go and she talks about how Gertie's good with her emotions or whatever. And then, like, midway through, she's like, I can't hide my emotions. I'm just not good at it, blah, blah, blah. I thought we agreed to move on. This is the part that she's missing entirely. It's like, you
Yeah.
did. Yeah. And Gertie was cool.
Kind
She,
of, sure.
like,
Yeah, it was
I
Gertie
mean,
was
Gertie
cool.
was
Like we
cool.
weren't.
That's it. No,
We
we
were like,
thought it
what
was
the fuck was
bullshit.
that? Yeah.
She didn't take any accountability, but Gertie, it was
No.
enough for her to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, let's move on. You go to the Greek party, the narcissist party, and you say, how do you get like the way you said it? Had you phrased it differently? Like, hey, how do you move forward with a friend after you've both wronged each other? Fine.
Mhm.
What you
That
said
would've
was,
been
how do you
cool.
move on with a friend after she said disgusting, horrible things about you? It's like, okay, so we're back to square one. But she doesn't
Yeah.
see that as an issue. She's like, I was trying to ask him for help. We were there. He was there. I was trying to move
It's your
forward. It's
first
like,
mistake.
no,
I mean, I know he's got 3 books and
he
everything,
does
and he's
have
a
3 books.
bestseller.
He's not a
But
bestseller. He simply has 3 books.
oh, I was
Yeah,
just,
no bestseller claim.
I just inflated a little bit more every time we talk about him. Uh,
He was the
yeah, I
Oprah book club of the month.
do you have an Instagram quote that really resonates with me right now? Hey, let me check.
Hold on.
And let me give me a second. Let me just scroll through. I got a couple. Go over to that mirror over there, and it'll be ready in a couple seconds. I got you.
100%. But again, Gertie, she felt the need to respond. She didn't want to take it as far as she did. She felt that that was the only action. She stands by it. I think we were going to get to an apology, or at least like I
Mhm.
get that that wasn't great. But Alexia and Marysol decided to chime in and speak on everybody's behalf, which I hated because it's like nobody liked it. It was disgusting and horrible and blah, blah, blah. They're going in
They
on
all
her
have.
and trying to
They all
say,
have it.
like, do you not understand like how ridiculous that was? Like, none of us stood for that. We're all so disgusted by you. It's like, great. Where the fuck was this when the water was thrown in Gertie's face?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Because everything you're saying right now, every single line can apply to the situation where Julia threw water. But in
Mhm.
that moment, Gertie was asked to leave by Kiki. In that moment,
Yep.
everybody there acted like it wasn't that big of a deal. It's like, oh, we got to get over this. Like, let's move on. But she shows a bunch of text messages at her event, and that's unforgivable. The hypocrisy in this moment drove me crazy. And I'm like, why the fuck is Gertie being singled out so much? Why the fuck is Dr. Nicole not back? Pay her whatever she needs to have some support for Gertie. If Dr. Nicole was in this scene, it would immediately be shut down. She'd be like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What are we doing here? Do we forget? Do
Yeah.
we have
She
amnesia?
just she simply just needs one person
I
to
know,
be on her
man.
side, and I do think that the rest of the crew would just back down. Like, yeah, Julia would still be involved in some way, shape, or form, but everybody else would probably back down. I don't think that
Hmm.
they would want to get involved. And I'm not saying it has to be Dr. Nicole. I'm not saying it has to be Kiki. I'm not saying it has to be
Somebody
anybody
needs to step up.
like there. Somebody just needs to point it out and just say, what the fuck are we doing? Just put you want perspective. Here's the perspective. Let's just look at this whole thing as an overview. Gertie has said some things that she probably would like to take back that she wishes that she hadn't said. The text messages weren't that bad. It's her party. She can do whatever the fuck she wants. It's not like she was condemning her. She was just giving you guys the context that you so desperately wanted. But for whatever reason, now you're turning a blind eye to the context because you feel like that was a disgusting behavior. It wasn't. She didn't really put Julia on blast. She showed text messages between the two of them that showed where the intention was for a cruise party, for where she was sitting at a cruise dinner. Who the fuck
Yep.
cares? In the greater scheme of things, this means absolutely nothing. I don't think that it was enough. I think that honestly, I think Gertie probably should have done more.
We've
Honestly,
seen
if
worse
you have
on
to
this
ask me,
show.
we've seen so much worse on this show. And if she really wanted to do that, she probably could have. And this is all she wanted to do was just provide the context of the situation that you guys, for whatever reason, are turning a blind eye to because you're just automatically picking Julia. Why? Because you're being racist. Like, that's really all it is. You're not picking Gertie because you feel like all of her emotions, all of her actions, her behaviors are just not in line with a friend that you want to be with. Why? Because you're racist. Everybody
Yeah.
else in the group does the same shit. That's what the whole narcissist party was. And obviously, it's very hypocritical because Alexia doesn't see that as a party for Todd or even her. But everybody else is a narcissist. They all think that. They all look at
She's
each
too
other and say the same
empathetic.
thing. Gertie's the only one who said we're all narcissists. And she's right. And it's
Yep.
okay. And yes, guess what? That makes Gertie the least narcissist out of all of them by at least pointing that out. So the whole thing's just ass backwards at this point, and it's tough to watch in certain times.
Yeah, these moments are tough to watch because I sit there racking my brain trying to understand any other perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just watching Gertie get singled out every fucking episode. And Julia has the balls to say, where's Adriana? She's at the bar, not defending me. It's like, you're indefensible. The only reason Alexia and Marysol are defending you is because you're in with the cool crowd for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
They'll turn on you. It's only a matter of time. Like, I'm banking on that one. It's just bad, dude. It's like you said earlier, how do you not see what you're doing and saying? Like, how do you not
No idea.
recognize, like, oh, fuck, this is actually problematic. Maybe I should just shut the fuck up and apologize and understand that on this show that we love so very much because of all these characters, because of how outlandish they are, because of their reactions to things. We've seen this a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
suddenly it's over the line because it's Gertie. Okay, got it. Great,
Got
guys.
me.
This is looking awesome for everybody, and nobody's standing up. Not one person is standing up and going, "Time out. This kind of sucks. Let's change this." And
Yeah.
I hope somebody does at some point. I think Stephanie might. I think if she was there, we had a chance because it's up against Alexia as well, so it's a little bit more personal. So I think and hope that maybe she
Well,
takes
we
on
saw
that
that
job.
last week with the teams starting to be formed a little bit. And,
Mhm.
as much as I feel like Adriana could be a good person in this situation, she's going
No
to
one's
be
going to
too
take her
boisterous and
seriously.
loud. No one's going to take her seriously. Kiki's not really involved one way or another. I'm not going to force her hand and tell her that she needs to get involved, but that
Mm-mm.
would be nice if she could just take Gertie's side. I think Lisa, I don't really see Lisa
Lisa's
doing it
trying to
either.
stay
So
neutral. I think she's Team Gertie, but she's trying to stay out of it.
yeah, something's going to have to give at some point, and it might simply just be Alexia and Stephanie just aren't getting along, and Alexia's on the one side, so Stephanie's going to go to the other. And she's now. See, I don't see that happening either because she's getting too close with Julia. So it does seem like we're in for another couple episodes at least of Gertie just kind of being on an island by herself, which sucks.
Well, we are Team Gertie for now and forever. Team Gertie and, of course, Team Russell. Love that, man.
Yeah.
But the next morning was funny. Adriana wakes up, acknowledges that doesn't really remember a whole lot from the night before.
Yeah.
And you get Marysol, Larsa, and Alexia sitting on the back of the boat, and they FaceTime Stephanie, or Stephanie calls and they put it on speaker, whatever. And she's like, "Oh, where's the Rottweiler? Ha ha." Funny. We know where it came
Call
from.
back to less than 24 hours before.
And Alexia's like, "That's you." It's like, whoa, wait. You said that you were a Rottweiler and then a lion or something. You made this claim. You called her, and that's what Steph. She's like, "Wait, hold on. Like, you called me a Chihuahua, and you said that you were a Rottweiler." And she's like, "We said that joking around. It was playful, and now you're gonna call me a Rottweiler?" Like, it escalates so fast. Even
God,
Larsa,
so crazy.
even Larsa was like, "Whoa." This was all like Stephanie was trying to be playful and joke around. Like, Alexia's getting way too amped up. And then you get the line, which is 100% how Alexia feels about Stephanie. "Yeah, well, why don't you go, and aren't you happy with your perfect life and your perfect husband and your perfect vacation on your private jet? And I'm stuck with Todd and a rental and Marysol." And Marysol's like, "Yeah, I'm really not it. I think I'm out on Stephanie." It's like, why?
Oh yeah,
Based on
why?
what? Like, what has she done to you,
Because
Marysol?
Alexia's sad and crying about this. Like, it doesn't make any
Because
sense.
she called her a Rottweiler?
I just love that, like, going into it, it's so clearly Stephanie's giving Alexia another chance. In
Yeah, I
spite of
know.
what Alexia had said last episode, saying that she was kissing everybody's ass and she wants to go back inside and do all that. Stephanie let that go. She tried to go clean slate with Alexia, tried to bring up something that they joked about the day before. Clearly, Alexia wasn't joking. And it turns into something else. And she was being playful. And I think it was, hey, here's an olive branch. I'm going to make a joke about something we both laughed at yesterday. You want to be friends? No. Okay. All right. So I think this is probably the last time that we're going to see Stephanie do that.
You're gonna call me a Rottweiler? No, you called yourself a Rott. I was trying to be funny. "Yeah, well, fuck you." Like, it gets off, like, they hang up the speakerphone, and she's just like going in. She's like, "I fuck her. Like, I don't like her." And Marisol's like, "Yeah, me neither." It's like, all right. And
All right.
when Larsa's the voice of
Whatever.
reason, you're on the wrong team, because
I
she's
know.
like, "This was supposed to be a joke, guys. It's supposed to be a joke." So
Whatever.
I don't know. The show's good. It's a good season, despite what's going on. I will say, if it continues down this path, it's going to be tougher to watch and enjoy.
Yeah.
They need to nip it in the bud. Somebody needs to step up and be a good fucking friend, please, and not the one housewife that's missing from the cast this season, and Dr. Nicole. Like, somebody has to take this on and not be afraid to step up to Alexia, Marysol, and nobody should be afraid of Julia. That's wild.
Yeah, that's
to
for
me.
sure.
Like, why she's not catching any heat for any of this is beyond me. But anyway, let's get to some questions.
First up from J Bay the Hut 713. When it comes to the reading the text thing, can Larsa not read well? I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. Larsa scanned it for her own name, didn't see her own name, and then stopped caring.
Where is that? Sorry, I got sidetracked. What did you say?
J Bay the Hut said, when it comes to reading the text thing,
Oh.
can Larsa not read well?
We alluded to it. I don't want to.
No, I'm telling you
put
exactly
that
what it
out
is. She scans the documents and she said, I don't see my name. I don't care anymore.
Oh, that's exactly what it was. Yes, you're correct. Sorry, I missed that.
Steele can't read well, I think.
That's true too. This is a good one to answer from Zoe Could the Palais. Racism and bias are real, but maybe the women don't like Gertie and it's not about race. When she is doing the same exact things that other people on this cast do, when we've seen her have friendships on this show with multiple women, and when you see the behavior of hers getting called out, but Julia's getting glossed over as not that bad, then you have to look deeper into it and say something else is going on here. I think that turning a blind eye to what is happening is part of the problem. I think that it's become far too evident for me watching to not address what's going on. So
yeah,
I don't think it's just they don't like her. I think that maybe they don't like her, but they're using more to try to vilify her. And when you really break it down, like, yes, we both recognize racism here. We both see it. It seems actually pretty obvious to me because, again, it comes down to she's doing the same shit everyone else has done. And yet, for some reason, Gertie's is 10 times worse than anybody else's. And that doesn't make any fucking sense.
What it would be to me for them to simply not like Gertie would be all of them being incredibly dismissive and all of them just being like, whatever, Gertie, like, we're so tired of you doing this shit, like, whatever. Instead, they're nitpicking the certain things that they're pointing out that all of them do, but for whatever reason, she's held to a different standard. Yeah, I mean, I think both can be true. I mean, they might not like her, but they're also being racist. Like, both can definitely be true in this situation. So it's
Agreed.
just a different situation. If they didn't like her as a person and didn't really care about race, we would see a little bit different. The motives would be a lot
coming off
different. The things
differently.
they said, it would be coming off a lot differently. And we're not the group, like we're definitely not the podcast to call that out every single time that something happens, but we both see it. So, you know, it's what it is.
Ryan Stoneman.
I was just going to read that one.
Should they just lock Marysol and Adriana in a room together and see what happens? I'm down.
With a
Put
camera.
a camera in there. Yep. Yeah. And
I'll do you one better. Make them they'll take the same elevator and then stop the elevator and leave them in there, and we'll just
with
see
just
what
the
happens.
corner camera and see what goes down. I'm down for that. From Insta Steph 7, what comment do you think Stephanie will be embarrassed by when watching back? I don't think she will. And even if she is, she's not going to admit it. She's a very proud person. And I think that she stands by all the shit she's saying. And there's nothing that's been like bad. It's just her bragging about Birkins and shit, which annoyed me initially. And I said one thing. I said, if she's going to be this person, she has to lean in fully. She's doing that. So it is no longer annoying. Now it's like, all right, well, this is the wealthy one. And I like that. That's what housewives used to be. Bring wealth back to housewives. And that's what Stephanie's doing. From Greg Birch, St. Louis, STL. I'm assuming that's St. Louis. What happened to the horn at the beginning of the Miami episodes? We've done remote for the last 3 weeks for Miami, 4 weeks, and the soundboard doesn't work with the software we use.
Yeah.
Trust me, I miss it too. We'll do an in-person one soon, and I'll use the horn at least 5 times to make up for it. But I miss it too, Greg. I miss it too.
From Health Goddard, which of the Miami ladies would you have on your yacht? You can choose 4.
Kiki, Gertie, Lisa, and Stephanie.
Yeah, that's a good 4. As much as I'm enjoying Adriana this season, I don't think I could be on a yacht with her. I think she would annoy the shit out of me.
For the most like entertaining boat, Adriana, Marysol, Stephanie, Alexia.
Yeah.
And I wish I could bring one more just to be and Dr. Nichol.
Oh yeah. Let's do one more if we can find one.
Yeah, here you go from Sarah D. or Sarah D. Do you guys feel like we missed out this season on a Dr. Nichol and Stephanie friendship? I do. Yeah, we talked about that earlier. We're definitely missing a piece here that would tie this whole thing together. Like if you look across the board, what Dr. Nichol would do, the Gertie situation would be different. Stephanie and Nicole, that friendship could be great. Dr. Nichol is our voice of reason, and we do not have that now across the board. Like Gertie is the closest thing we have to it, but we're missing that cornerstone of just logic. And on a show like this with this many wacky characters, you really need that person. So we said that last year, that the only fault of this season might be the lack of Dr. Nichol. And we'll see how it plays out, because I do see multiple instances where her absence might cause issues.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that right now, and it's never been more clear than when we actually have her in an episode. We get that scene where it just seems so much more light, airy, and we understand things a little bit better. So it is what it is, I suppose, but not happy about it.
Correct. Agreed. But that's all I got. You got anything else?
Nope. All good here.
Well, that's our show. Bro's got to go.